Talk about the start to the downswing. It's an area that, again, most amateur golfers tend to struggle with, which causes huge inconsistency. And I personally see this on a day-to-day basis. I see it with people that come through that door for golf lessons, people that reach out for online lessons, but also have a Facebook group, which you are more than welcome to join. If you search on Facebook groups, Rosslare Heritage Golf Club, you'll find more details in the description box below. You're welcome to join, and I sort of oversee what people are uploading, and I'm always intrigued to see what sort of advice golfers give. And what tends to happen, as we'll see with the swing that's coming up now, is golfers upload a video and they'll get some advice, and the advice is always best will. But you know, the problem is what should you be doing? And as a golf coach, I'm a massive believer in doing the least amount that would have the biggest influence on the golfer. So if somebody's really interested in having a swing which looks like a professional golf swing, as time goes on, you can make the alterations when necessary. But you're not going to make a golfer change the grip, change your posture, change your backswing, do this and that. You need to do something that's going to influence how they hit the golf ball. Now, the golfer who, in question today, has had lessons and stuff and has always had difficulty with sort of coming over the top, if you like, or coming too steep. And like I say, this is a problem. If I see golfers that struggle with contact, if I see golfers that caught too much underplay, it's always the same culprit, and it's very much to do with the start to the downswing. So what's happening with our golfer in today's question is backswing position by all accounts seems okay, but as he starts the downswing, his first move is the right hip's coming forward. Now as the right hip comes forward, this means the right shoulder will equally come forward. And as the right hip and right shoulder come forward, this leads itself to this over the top move. Now some golfers will do things like drop their arms, and as they drop their arms they'll get the club more on plane, but again the club can't reach the low point, so it gives them inconsistency with ball striking. Some golfers are even faster with doing this type of motion, to the point where the club gets really caught under plane, lending itself to excessive hand rotation. So it really is a culprit of 99.9% of swing faults. So how do we go about fixing it? And today's drill should really help you get a better feeling for right and wrong. Now this was gifted to me by Wedge Pro. Some of you will be able to buy this. At the moment I believe the company is trying to figure out logistics to get it over in America, but you can do a hardcover book and just sort of tilt it up to an angulation where you can sort of feel it makes a difference, if that makes sense. So again, with a lot of online students, I'll get them to do this. I'll get them to pop the tilted book or whatever it is they concoct underneath their trail foot, and it sort of pronates and tilts the foot in a little bit, right? First thing is, in the backswing position, you just want to work on rotating, trying to keep this trail leg flexed, and just get a feeling of turning the pelvis into the leg, okay, like so. Now what happens when you do this is, well, a few things. One, you'll get a much stronger activation in the glute because you're theoretically moving into a state of internal hip rotation. Two, because you're keeping the leg flexed, you'll also feel yourself putting more pressure into the ground, and obviously as you continue to rotate with that recentering, then by the time you conclude your backswing, if I put my hand on my trail thigh, see the way that it moves outwards, so it goes from slightly outward facing to pointing in towards the corner of the wall over there. That's the first part. That's objective number one. From here, what we are now trying to do is pull the lead side back, okay, keeping this thigh in place for a short period of time. So what we can see from the student who has the over the top, as I was highlighting earlier, is if you watch the leg, would be moving more this way, okay, and what we're trying to do is move more this way, and this is how we get that squatting move, like so. So the way you're going to practice this is sort of as I've demonstrated. You're going to look down, you're going to turn back, you're going to make sure your hand moves outwards or your thigh moves outwards, and then you're quite simply just going to place your hand on your thigh, and you're going to make sure that the upper part of your leg doesn't twist back towards the target and it stays pointing away from the target, and then you're going to work on pulling that lead side back. So you're going to pull the left hip back as you move to your left hand side, and what you'll see is that of course it'll start to rotate, but there's a significant difference between it twisting this way and it momentarily staying more outward facing, and you're going to end up in a squatting motion, okay, like this. Now these are the sort of drills that I encourage a lot of my students online to do. So if there's somebody like the golfer in mind today who's doing this, I don't go to the range and go and work on XYZ. It won't work. I'll say, look, these are the things you need to feel. You need to feel this. You need to then practice a bit of that move, okay, pulling that lead side away, okay, like so, as you keep the upper part of that trail leg outward facing, and that's going to stop these sort of habits from happening. And then what you do is you'll go down to the range and you'll try and incorporate exactly those same sort of feelings where you're pulling that lead side back, keeping this outward facing towards the target just as you initiate the downswing, whilst you progressively move that weight to the lead side, and then you can push yourself up and through. So the subtlety is there and the influence is dramatic, and that's what we need to be kind of concentrating on. It'll almost feel like you're really loading in towards that trail leg, and then whilst that trail leg is loaded in towards the ground, you're going to kind of use that trail leg to help pull the lead side back. But like I say, you need to try the drill and you need to do the exercise at home for it to make a significant difference. And all of a sudden, as time goes on and you get accustomed to this sort of feeling, you'll no longer feel the temptation to fire the trail leg forward or trail hip forward, and you'll start to feel the difference between having the ability to pull the lead hip back. And like I say, whether you're over the top, stuck under plane, or poor ball striking, you'll start to move away from this type of movement and into this movement, and it'll feel more linear, it'll feel lower to the ground, it'll feel like you're smothering the ball more, it'll feel like you're keeping your back to the target. Do you see what I mean? All of those over the years, all those great pieces of little advice all get sort of put together in towards this one move, so it's definitely worth practicing. See you guys again really soon.